Yeah. What's up, good people, and welcome to another episode of Keep It
All
Thorough, where we
right.
give you the real. Oh wow, that's different, man. All right, I got you. Where we give you the real behind business, health, money, and self development, and introduce engaging concepts to help you perform better in all areas of life. I'm your host, Cedric Lavelle, joined by my comrade, counterpart, E
E
Double,
double, E double. And
E
we
Double, E
back at
Double,
y'all for episode 87. And this is a topic that is
87.
very close and near and dear to my heart, which y'all will understand
Super
why
personal.
shortly. But the title of this episode is Stand Off the Hook, How to Protect Yourself from Phishing. And we're talking about the P type of phishing and not the F, right? So the PHISHING type of phishing, right? Not the FISHING type of phishing, right?
I don't like
Yeah,
fishing.
I used to fish a lot when I
Neither.
was younger, but
Neither one
but
of them.
and I didn't mind it too much, but I damn sure don't like the second type of fishing that we talking about. So
Nah. My grandmother used to fish a lot. Wasn't much of a
that's
fan.
actually
I like to spend time
that's
with her.
actually who I used to fish with, my grandmama.
Yeah, my grandmother. I wasn't a fan, but
Hey,
I like the
but
time.
with all
That's the end of
with
it.
all that
Yeah.
being said,
Go ahead.
fishing requires a whole lot of patience too. But with all that being said, be sure
Yeah.
to check out the kits that corresponds to the
Mm-hmm.
episodes. We always got nice kits that are up on the website at keepitthorough.com/kits. And then be sure to follow us on all the social media platforms, your Instagram, your Facebooks, your threads. Go subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever your podcasts come podcast with us. You feel me? But
Yeah, there you go. Come
with
podcast
all
with the
that being
boys.
said, let's go ahead and kick this thing off.
Let's get to it, man. So episode 87. So here's the real. Here's the real, right? So we live in a very technologically driven society, right? And there's many advantages um, that we have from this highly digitized era. There's so many different things that are accessible to us through the World Wide Web. You know what I'm saying? But the problem is, right, is we are susceptible to a lot of different security threats and scams through phishing, right? And it's these tactics that involve scammers, posing as someone or something else that they are not, just to get people to reveal their personal information or their credentials or anything like that. That is what damages anyone's experience online. You know what I'm saying? It disrupts the trust of people and the trust that they have in certain entities. And it makes it challenging for people to really have a level of comfort whenever they're going to a website, whenever they're checking an email, whenever they get a phone call, get a text message. It makes you very uncertain or uncomfortable
Skeptical.
at times. You know what I'm saying? Depending on what it is. So that's phishing, right? And it's something that's prevalent. I know with the industry that Eric and I both have worked in the past, we've seen it often. We heard about it often. We had trainings about it often. And I believe over time it's gotten worse.
Hey,
It's
five
gotten
five
worse,
hundred
man.
million phishing attempts in 2022.
There it is. So yeah, we've got to be vigilant, have to be aware, and understand that it's a thing. It's something that anybody can get got by. You know what I'm saying? No matter how smart you are, these schemers, they be scheming.
Hey, they be scheming.
Stay
Hey, green is
scheming.
a go.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to be on alert. Got to be on high alert, man.
So cool. So right, the theme of this episode is really, as you can tell by the title, like staying off the hook. Like we're going with like a fishing type of theme and analogy to help drive home the point, especially with the title, like of said offense, right? Fishing. So that's kind of where we're going with this. But
Not said as in CED, but said as in SAID.
yeah.
Sorry, I don't know where that came from.
But cool. So next,
Carry
right?
on.
So drowning deception, which essentially that deception is the tactic that these scammers or I don't even necessarily want to call them hackers because they're not necessarily hacking, but the scammers, deception is the number one thing that they use. So and they adapt to different environments, to make their phishing attempts seem more legit. So they do it in emails. They got fraudulent websites. They may do it through text messages, through phone calls. They might leave a voicemail, and all of these different methods they're attempting to extract either your personal or financial information. So they're either trying to get your social so that they can open up credit cards or accounts or apply for loans or things like that, or they're trying to get your account number, routing ID, your PIN, whatever the case may be. Any information that they can get to get quick access to some funds, to some money, right? So and again, deception is what they do. So what does that look like? I could literally show you emails on my phone right now. Matter of fact, we gonna do something that we normally don't even do. I'm literally going, because this is how prevalent this is and how a lot of people don't talk about it, but how often it happens, and I think all of us can relate to it, right? So I'm literally, we live right now, right? Which when y'all watch this, it won't be live, but I'm doing this live right now, and I'm just scrolling through my emails, right? So boom. Let me see.
Now, Eric got at least about 12,000 emails.
I do have a million freaking emails, but I literally had just seen like a phishing attempt earlier. So here we go. So I don't for those of y'all who know about crypto, FTX was a crypto exchange, and their owners or CEO, they're facing all these charges, and they had shut down the exchange, right? Well, this is a phishing attempt, right? Let me zoom out. This says FTX withdraw department, right? So this is basically a phishing attempt of them trying to act like, oh, we're allowing withdrawals now from FTX because I got some money that's stuck in there behind this lawsuit. So now if I click on it, it looks legit, right? It says FTX fraud department. It got their logo. It says you can now withdraw your digital assets. Like all this, like this looks pretty legit, right? Nobody who knows better. And then now if you click withdraw now, I already know what's gonna happen. They're gonna ask me for my account number to sign into my account, which that's how they're gonna get me, right? So one thing that you gotta pay attention for and stuff like, and this is hard as hell to show this while I'm talking to y'all, but one thing you wanna do is you wanna click on who it's from, right? And now if you look at that, that's a weird ass email. Like it's not focusing, so I'll just read it to y'all. But it's FTX department at menhavero.com.br.
Man, what?
That ain't no real company, right? And the important thing to realize is the domain name. And what the domain name is what's after the at, right? So we know FTX has a website, that's ftx.com. So if they're sending me information, it's going to be from an email address with that FTX domain name. Right. FTX wouldn't be sending me an email from a random menhavero.com, So that's one way that you can check, and be careful and not click on those links. And whenever you're in doubt, I just lost my little window here. Whenever you're in doubt, always just call the company directly or email them directly or whatever the case may be. But just keep in mind that with these fraudsters, these scammers, that deception is their, that's their bread and butter. They're trying to trick you, right? And they get very good with their tactics. Some of them are very obvious to some people, and it's like, oh, this is fake. But then for other people, especially some older people, those not that good with technology, they just have a trust there, and then they don't really think about it, and that's how they quickly get got, right? So so just keep that in mind, and don't be drowning in deception, right? Be on top of it.
Be on top of it. Be aware. But just like he said, right? Those specific things that he mentioned with email deception, website fraud, and message manipulation, those are three of the more primary ways that they get you. You know what I'm saying? Those are three of the more primary ways that you definitely want to be aware of. So with email deception, it's just those deceptive emails that are most common that you typically would see in your inbox. And these scammers, when they're phishing, they craft these craft and design these emails to appear as if they're from a trusted source, right? And so a lot of times it sparks some urgency. It uses certain trigger words to make you look into whatever it is that they're saying or whatever it is that they're inquiring about. And then after they get you to, divulge with your information, then they take whatever it is that they need and do whatever it is that they want with it, right? And so, like you was saying, like paying attention to the domain is one of the key things that you want to do. That's going to help you to identify if this person that's sending or company that's sending is really legit. And also calling, that always works out as well too, right? So you want to be aware in that regard. And then with website fraud, with fraudulent websites often imitating credible ones, they're created with the intent to trick users into entering their personal details and passwords, right? And so I want to say, what's it called? Either SSL, the
SSL
little lock,
certificate. Yeah, yep.
right? The SSL certificate in the browser, the little lock that you typically would see.
So
That's
yeah,
one of the
and,
key
and
things
the address will be HTTPS, which stands for secure, and then you'll see that lock, and that just means they have like a SSL certificate, and typically a legit, a more legit site.
more legit site, right? So you want to be. That's one of the signs that you want to pay attention to kind of help you identify if what you're indulging in or viewing is from a credible source. And then I know a lot of people see this as well too, but with the message manipulation, and so with that, it's just the instant messages that are laced with hitting phishing attempts that are crafted to lure you in by clicking on dangerous links or providing sensitive information. And I get all types of random crap sent to my phone that I obviously know is a phishing attempt.
Yeah, and then they try to get you
I don't
like, oh,
even
we need action immediately. Like your account is compromised. You need to,
right.
they try to do things to,
So those
yeah,
buzzwords, you know what I'm saying? The immediately or account compromise or did you buy $321 worth of whatever. And it's been times that they've sent stuff to my phone and I go look at my Bank of America account. I'm like, they ain't even came out my account. Like, what are you talking about?
exactly.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And so you just got to do your due diligence,
Key
man.
key
Like
key
like
key, key
like we
word,
said,
your due diligence.
you got to just be on alert and don't fall for the traps.
No.
Don't fall for them
All right, so
because
so
they out there.
so as we move on, right? This definitely could be like a tangle web, and for those who aren't as tech savvy, what myself or said may deem as common sense may not necessarily be common sense to other folks, right? We've both worked in retail or retail sales specifically, where we had to be on guard for fake IDs and because that would fall back on us if we sold out some phones or whatever equipment to a fraudulent person, and then it comes back and gets canceled or whatever, we would get what they call chargebacks, and they ain't want no damn chargebacks. You know what I'm saying? So we had to do
money loss.
We had to do our due diligence. So, but everybody hasn't necessarily dealt with those situations, so it can kind of feel like a tangled web. And moving on with the fishing and water and staying off the hook analogy, the same way like a deep sea diver must learn to recognize and avoid dangers in the ocean. Navigating the web is very similar, right? So the way you view each email request or suspicious links or unauthenticated websites, you need to look at all of those as threats, and really you have to have your guard up at all times. Like whenever you're on the web, on the internet, sharing information, your guard has to be up. Like never
Right.
approach the web as this safe place, because it's not, and that's just the reality. So now going on with that, earlier I spoke to the point that what triggered this episode was, a personal experience in a personal experience of mine. And essentially what happened is my wife got tricked in a phishing attempt, and they got decent amount of money from us, significant amount, some thousands of dollars, you know what I'm saying? And the way they were able to do that was there was actually a legitimate fraud attempt on our account that I took care of on one of my credit cards. And then a few days later, they called her, Chase, pretending to be, the fraudsters pretending to be Chase. And this was very complex. Like it showed Chase on the caller ID. She was actually getting text messages from the legit Chase number because they were coming from Chase, but that's because they were talking to Chase, pretending to be them. And then, got to ask her for information. And I like to take our experiences and things that we go through, not just me and my wife in this situation, but, whatever experiences we go through, and hopefully y'all can learn from it. And something to take away from our experience, and my wife learned from it is your bank will never, ever, ever ask you for your PIN, right? There's certain, things that they will ask you for, but that's one of them they will never ask you for, because that's something that's personal to you, right? And you only use that to, withdraw funds, or to, if you go into a bank and you're doing some sort of transaction, they'll have you put your card in and enter your PIN, but they never ask you for it because it's personal to you, and you're supposed to be the only person who knows that, right? So that's a dead giveaway, right? If they're asking for your PIN. Another giveaway, and Said just mentioned this earlier, is if they're calling you talking about fraudulent charges, right? Go pull up your bank account, right? And then verify that you see those charges they're referring to. And now sometimes, the bank will catch the fraudulent charges, so you won't see it. But if the person you're speaking to is really your bank, they should be able to verify your most recent transactions, right? The fraudster's not going to be able to do that because they don't really actually have access to your account. They're trying to get access to your account, right? So if they can't tell you that, dead giveaway, hang up, call the bank directly. And really, I recommend if you ever get any sort of call talking about fraud, this, that, and the third, I would hang up and call the bank back directly. Go and the number you call, don't go on Google and look for no numbers, none of that. Go grab your debit card or your credit card and you call the number on the back of that thing. On the back. And if you can't find that, then just go to the bank's website, to the contact us page, and either start up a chat or call that number. But don't never Google a fraud or security number, because ain't no telling what's gonna come up. You know what I mean? Ain't no telling what you gonna get, and you don't know who is on that other line. You know what I mean? So Tango Web, man, this was triggered by our personal experience. Personal experience me and my wife dealt with, and we actually still kind of dealing with. But we like to be real with y'all and share information. And hopefully prevent this type of situation from happening to someone else. So definitely a Tango Web, and you gotta just make sure that you're very,
don't get caught.
Stay dangerous.
Stay dangerous. You know what I'm saying?
Stay vigilant. You know what I mean? Pay attention. Always have your guard up.
Don't get caught. And so to that point with staying vigilant and not getting caught, E said this earlier as well too. Some key things that you really want to do when it comes to phishing would be, one, just staying skeptical, right? And so approach every request for your personal information with caution. Always trust but verify. You know what I'm saying? I've heard that before. Trust but verify. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I may trust what you're saying, but let me go verify that real quick. Let me go to my bank account. Let me go look and see. Let me go to my credit card and let me go look and see. Let me call the bank really quick and let me just confirm what it is that you're telling me, so I can make certain that the information that you're giving me is accurate, right? So I always want to stay skeptical. In addition to that, just using security software, right? And so using reliable and updated security software as one of your first lines of defense. And I know a lot of times with Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, a lot of them have like these built-in softwares of security. that kind of restricts certain things. I know with like iOS systems, there are certain softwares and securities that they have as well. But just really being aware of the security and paying attention to the signs that you may see when it comes to your digital engagement. You know what I'm saying? If you're seeing random things pop up on your screen, or if you're seeing random sites and whatnot,
Your
pop up
computer is
whenever you go.
infected.
Right.
Hurry up
You know what I'm
and
saying? Like
yeah, just
those types of notifications, you want to be aware.
the hackers ain't gonna
And,
tell you
and
they hacked you.
right, absolutely. And so you just gotta pay attention to the signs, right? See those signs and make the necessary changes. And to that point, you want to make certain that you keep your software updated. So doing these different updates within your operating systems and whatnot are useful,
Hey,
right?
that's
Because
a very good point too, said. Because what a lot of people probably don't realize is with these new updates, it's not always just new features. There's also security patches.
security,
So
yeah,
there can be a vulnerability that was discovered that they're patching to help you from being, hacked or some sort of phishing attempt to access something. So very important to keep your software up to date.
definitely want to do that. And to that point, a lot of times when it comes to the software updates, because phishing has gotten so prevalent, and a lot of these people have gotten so schematic and very enhanced with their approach. A lot of these operating systems, they have to put out these updates because they see something. It's like, okay, yeah, our system was vulnerable to that, so we got to make these updates. We got to make these changes. So yeah, software updated. Make sure you want to do that. And then enabling your two-step authentication. I want to say like maybe the past 4 or 5 years, that whole two-step authentication thing has kind of gotten more
That boy
popular
saying
than
that
what it
funny
was
boy
in the past.
two step off authentication.
Authentication.
Two factor
Authentication.
authentic. I
I'm
can't
over
even
here
say
putting
it
the
now.
F in there.
Authentication. Two factor authentication.
Two-factor
Yeah, there we
authentication.
go.
I say authentication. I don't even know that. Is that a
Well,
that ain't
you
even a
seen
word?
well, you got two. Maybe I don't know. I don't know where you got it.
I
I was
mixing
gonna try
I
to
was
like
putting
make it
the
better
F.
for you, but I don't know where you got it
I
from.
was putting the F in the authentication. You know what? If my wife hears this, she like, "Well, you always up with them messing up words." Like, she told me one time, "You known for messing up a word." Yeah, I'm gonna mess up a word
I
a
do
couple
it too,
times.
bro. I do it too, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Man, I'm known for messing up one. I used to say essential,
Essential.
essential. But anyway,
So what is it? It's essential. Yeah, essential oils.
essential.
Yeah.
But I used to say it. I used to pronounce it
Essential,
weirdly.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that's neither here nor there. Let's go to the next one. The last one is reporting your phishing attempts. And so E said this as well too. Man, if they call you and they saying, "Hey, you got to give us your PIN, whoop de woo, this that, and the other," man, call your people, call your bank, call your institution, let them know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So these things can be corrected, right? Like don't keep those attempts to yourself. You want to definitely try to make every action or do whatever you can to help and prevent something from not happening to somebody else. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
or do your due diligence. So if you are targeted, there's an adequate paper trail that'll help you with recovery,
Yeah,
and things like
that
that.
too.
Yeah.
That too. So you want to be smart. You want to be smart. You want to do everything that you can to kind of dodge or whatever these attempts and stay off the hook. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, so
Don't get fished by the
so
fisherman.
in summary, right, or the takeaway, stand on with the fishing theme or the deep sea theme.
With a sign on the back saying "Let's go fishing." That's on a Texas song. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't
just
even know.
had to
I
get
don't know
out.
that one said.
Yeah, you don't
I've
know
been here
what
for
that
12
is,
years,
bro.
but I'm still from Minneapolis.
I mean, saying if you're from Texas and you hear this audio, you know what I'm talking about.
But yeah,
You know
so
what I'm saying?
sticking with the deep sea theme, right? So just like a vigilant diver knows the risks of the deep sea, a savvy internet user must recognize the dangers of phishing and try to avoid being targeted. So it's important to stay informed, as we mentioned. Got to remain vigilant and apply practical steps to ensure your personal data stays safe. It's really just that simple. So check those domain links. Always be on guard. If something don't sound right, it ain't right. Hang up, call the bank. Don't give out any personal information to really. There's really no reason to ever give out personal information over the phone. There's really not, unless you are initiating something, unless you're calling the bank or you're doing something and they're asking for that information. They typically don't call you like that, right? You'll get a text message typically, and if that looks funny, don't respond to the text message, call your bank. So really it's as simple as that. Just be extremely cautious. And I know that's easier said than done, because like in my situation with my wife, this was a very complex situation. This wasn't some, normal sort. This was some elaborate, very elaborate situation. You know what I'm saying?
When you explaining it to me, I'm like, oh,
which
they got
which
real
again,
elaborate with that thing.
me and my wife are different in terms of, I work in tech, so I'm a little more, savvy when it comes to, different type of phishing attempts, right? And keep in mind, I mentioned I actually had a legit fraud attempt on my account first, so that kind of lessened her guard a little bit. You know what I mean? So, okay, well, it would make sense maybe Chase is calling because, maybe they got access to something else. You know what I mean? But some of the information, should have been a giveaway. But again, learning attempt. And that's why we're doing this right now. So those of y'all that are listening to this episode, if, you heard something that you didn't know, right? Like, I didn't know that they wouldn't ask for your PIN, or, I didn't know how to check the domain name in the email, or, I didn't know, XYZ, so hopefully this helps somebody, right?
Right.
And it's just as simple as that. That's really the goal here, to provide benefit and to be beneficial. Right? So is there anything else you wanted to add to that, Sid?
No, sir, man, you got it. You said it all.
Hey, quick episode. And again, this topic, this is a money matters topic, right? Because these type of the reason I guess we frame this as a money matters episode is because this is protecting your money. Because a lot of the times these phishing attempts, they're going after money. That's what they're going after.
Yeah, they want something.
Right. So and then the amount of money I lost. This is a damn show money matters episode. God damn it, because money matters. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, doggone skip it, dude.
But for real, in all seriousness, hopefully this helps somebody down the road, and maybe just even if it doesn't help you directly, maybe just puts you more on guard, where just to pay a little bit more attention when you're dealing with the internet and those various different phishing attempts. But as always, man, y'all be sure to check out the kits, like we mentioned earlier. Subscribe to all the platforms, like, share,
go Colorado
tell a friend.
Buffaloes.
Hey, I am definitely a Colorado bandwagon fan. Proudly, I will buy me a shirt, the whole nine. Go Prime and Shador and all them dudes, man, all them dudes. But with all that,
we in there.
We definitely in there.
We gotta go hit up Colorado, Boulder, baby. We on our way.
Right. Hey, y'all. But with all that being said, if you don't do nothing else, keep it thorough.
Keep it thorough.
We'll holler at y'all next time.
Till next time.
Deuces.